Alrighty guys, we're back for Scorching. Red deck wins, and this is an Aetherdrift standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. I got a lot of burn packed in. All 4 Boltwaves ought to do the thing. Same thing with all 4 Burst Lightning. How about all 4 Lightning Strike too? Nice, beautiful stuff. More burn packed in. How about some burn for creatures? Scorching Shot, making the cut as a 2-of. Double red sorcery, 5 damage to target creature. Yeah, not bad. Even more burn packed in. Slagstorm. A couple of these. 3 damage to each creature. Or 3 damage to each player. Honestly, you're probably going to do 3 damage to each player very often in this deck list. Got 4 Screaming Nemesis. Yeah, not going to take the time to go over that. Have other creatures too, though. 4 Razorkin Needleheads. It's about time I revisit this card, right? It's double red. It's a 2/2. First strike during your turn is no joke. And then whenever an opponent draws a card, this creature deals 1 damage to them. I'll tell you what, man, you know what I want to see from the opponents today? Up the Beanstalk. Up the Beanstalk has been an absolute menace for me, so hopefully Needlehead will punish the opponents for playing that. We also have 4 Fanatical Firebrands too. There was a lot of choices that we could have went with. As a 1-drop, I opted for Firebrand because at instant speed, since it has haste especially, you can tap this, sack it, 1 damage to any target. So you can just poke the opponent's face. How often in mono red do you get the opponent down to 1 and you're just sweating for the top deck? Well, Firebrand is now an open card that you can top deck to help you win that game right then and there. But then also, since it's any target, there are going to be moments where your opponent might be gaining some life on their turn. Maybe you can pop the Firebrand, hit your own Nemesis, and still just poke the opponent's face that way. But now with that Nemesis ability, the opponent can no longer gain life. I do think that's really, really going to come in handy. Got a couple of Virtue of Courage here on the top end. Got to do some rearranging because we're looking at that adventure side first. And eventually maybe we'll get 5 mana for the Virtue of Courage side of things. Now, Virtue of Courage is not the only way that we're going to be able to see more off the top. We actually have all 4. Count on luck. Triple red enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Beautiful stuff, man. I'm interested to see how much this is going to do today. Now you're looking at the deck list, and it's very obvious that it's not a mid-range deck list, and Count on Luck might belong in mid-range. Yeah, we're trying to do the aggro thing, but I guess we're also trying to bridge the gap between aggro and mid-range. Have an amount of sustainability, and then any amount of extra turns that goes on after you have the Count on Luck on the board. Hopefully you're just continuously top decking cheap burn that you can cast all out. 22 total mountains ought to be enough, I hope. And then we got some important honorable mentions over here too. Sawblade Scamp almost made the cut. Coruscation Mage, Viashino Pyromancer, Ren's Resolve, Mechanized Warfare, Hiritsugu's Second Right. I have to revisit this soon, man. Sunspine Lynx almost made the cut on the top end, and Witchstalker Frenzy. When you're deciding between Witchstalker Frenzy or a card like Scorching Shot, you have to ask yourself, how many creatures are you swinging in with? Not too many, not very often. So I think Scorching Shot's actually going to do a lot more than Witchstalker Frenzy in here. Oh, I missed a card too. We got 4 Grab the Prize, even more ways to see more off the top, but also burn the opponent's face as well. So, all right, guys. Hopefully I went over the deck list well enough. Either way, I do my dandies to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. Right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? I think it's going to be pretty good, man. I think that you can successfully run mono red without mice. I do. I believe that. I think there's a lot of really cool mono red cards that aren't seeing any play, and it's totally all the mice fault, you know? Opponent goes first here, unfortunately. There's no way we mulligan this, right? Slagstorm here too. If they end up going too wide since they went first, that'll be a good way to clean up the board state maybe. Firebrand, go, 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 go. We'll think about the Grab the Prize depending on if we see our 3rd mana off the top. And depending on what the opponent plays, we might send the Slagstorm to the Grab the Prize. It's a Get Lost. All right. Razorkin Needlehead ought to be decent enough here. Screaming Nemesis number 2 against Bant colors. Honestly, that's pretty good, I'd say. Yeah, Grab the Prize could help us find our third. But just establishing Needlehead, it probably gets eaten by removal. Oh, might be instant speed removal before the draw here, too. Any removal that we get out of the opponent's hand now is removal that's not hitting the Screaming Nemesis. It's another get lost, actually. I don't mind having all these extra map tokens. The big question here is, are we going to see the third? Very nice. Now, the opponent missed their third, so we can take the time to set up with Count on Luck, which, honestly, while they're tapped out, I'm going to go for that, man. 2 get lost out of the opponent's deck list means Count on Luck has a good chance of actually sticking on this board. Extra cards off the top. Analyze the pollen, huh? Okay, so they grab a basic. So they'll have 2 open for a counterspell if they want. We do find a mountain and a mountain. We play the one on the Count on Luck, of course. And Grab the Prize could run us into another 2-drop. But we probably go Screaming Nemesis map token. It was not a counterspell. It's good news. See what that map token brings us. A mountain. Having this Count on Luck established, dude, I'm excited to see how much this is going to do here in the first game. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. It's good ramp for the opponent, and we're going relatively slow. Wait a minute. Oh. Is this a domain build? I didn't even notice. Oh, another Count on Luck. Okay. We could. We totally could do the other Count on Luck. But I think, number one, we got to play around now, for sure. We have to play around a Sunfall now that we know what we're up against, right? Or we kind of sort of know what we're up against. So the Screaming Nemesis, the second Screaming Nemesis play isn't that great. Just continuously seeing more off the top with the Count on Luck actually seems super gross, man. I think I'm going to keep the Burst Lightning open. Let's go Map Token. Should have done Map Token first, but that's okay. I'm going to keep the Lightning Strike on top. And swing for 4. Yep, playing around a Sunfall now. So we keep the Burst Lightning open, not to hit their face, but to hit our own Nemesis on top of the stack of whatever their removal looks like. We hit the Nemesis, and then we... oh, could still be a temporary lockdown here, guys. Up the Beanstalk. Needlehead, where are you? Where are you, Needlehead? I need you on the board. They got 4 mana. Leyline Binding. Okay. So I guess technically on the stack of the Binding, they could play another Binding. I'm still going to try to take their life gain away. If it's another Binding, I guess great. We just got rid of even more removal out of their hand, except they're drawing a lot on the Up the Beanstalks. And it would be 2 damage. Okay, nice. Nice. That's good news, man. Okay, yep. Down to 10. No more life gain for the opponent. We get to see 2 extra cards off the top from the Count on Luck. Honestly, the opponent might be on the run here. For real. Let's see what we end up seeing. So we know Lightning Strike was on top. We see another mountain over there. Now Boltwave too, wow. Okay, so we play this mountain, right? We can start with Screaming Nemesis. Still have Boltwave and Lightning Strike. Could be Grab the Prize too. I guess start with Screaming Nemesis. I guess just go for the swing. Yeah, I'd rather go Lightning Strike and Boltwave for the turn too. It's 9 total damage. Actually, okay, Leyline Binding number 2. At that point, we don't need to hit our own Nemesis. It's much safer just to hit the opponent's face. Risking counter spells. Maybe I should have just grabbed the prize. but risking counter spells on the grab the prize seems really bad, right? So we do this now, and we do Boltwave now too because it's sorcery. We like use all the mana possible, especially, yeah, I think the burn can get us there next turn with double count unluck. No life gain from the opponent. They need to pull something huge off here, and I don't know what that would look like for a domain build. Zur, But that Screaming Nemesis ability, dude, brutal. So as long as we see anything that deals 1 point of damage, we have Slagstorm. They have one forest open. It's an Analyze the Pollen. I think we're going to get there, guys, but it could be triple mountains off the top, which would be terrible in a 22 mountain deck list, but a Razorkin Needlehead, Lightning Strike, and a Fanatical Firebrand as well. That ought to do it. Instead of Slagstorm, we'll use the Fanatical Firebrand. Heck yeah, dude. Awesome first game. I love seeing Count on Luck do the thing and do it well to get lost out of the opponent's hand early on for our turn 1 and our turn 2. I'm actually surprised the first get lost hitting the Firebrand. That is relatively surprising, but essential for that game since that get lost didn't hit our first Screaming Nemesis or our Count on Luck. Cool. Let's keep the ball rolling, huh? Yeah, let's see if we can continue to prove that we don't have to play mice to play mono red. That's my hope here. All right, opponent, what you bringing to the table, buddy? Okay, we go first. I'm going to give this a shot for sure. I think one of the things with Grab the Prize is we shouldn't be too afraid. Also, we just play Boltwave. There's no reason not to. With Grab the Prize, we should not be afraid to ditch a land if we have extra. I think that going for the 2 damage is great and all, but that should just be a bonus. So swamp with Razorkin. I say we do Grab the Prize while we have it, and we ditch the Firebrand. See what we see. Nice. So Razorkin Needlehead into a cutdown would have made me cry. So just do Grab the Prize while we have it. I think Count on Luck here to kind of tempo us out, but Virtue lets us get it back. However, it takes up our full turn 3 and we have a mountain open then. So I think they want to take Count on Luck because if they take Virtue, we just play Count on Luck next turn. And enchantments are very hard for mono black to remove. So they do actually take the Virtue so they don't lose the Deep Cavern Bat. But that gives us a turn to establish. Let's see what we can pull off here, man. I know one thing, more mana is pretty bad, and there's the example, right? I guess if we would have known there was this many mountains off the top, I would have sent something different with the Grab the Prize. Oh, Slagstorm. Nice, dude. But double Razorkin should be pretty good too. Then if they find their 4th swamp and they plan on going for the combo with the Slasher, we at the very least have a chump blocker for the Slasher on the ground. Yeah, double Razorkin while we have it. Yeah, it's just a chump block on the ground for the Slasher, but we'll see what ends up happening here. The good news is we're not going to have to worry about the combo, because now they'll only have 3 open since they did cut down before the draw. Virtue, they go back up to 17. The life gain isn't great, and we're taking a ton of damage from the Slasher this turn. See on the count on Luck. Scorching Shot and Lightning Strike. It's good. It's not bad. We'll get the Virtue back to our hand. Next turn, maybe we can play the Virtue of Courage side of things. With 1 swamp open, do I worry about this? Probably not. All right. And then we hit the Slasher with the extra card, Scorching Shot. It's not bad. It's not bad at all, guys. The extra cards from the count unlock really coming in handy right now. Aclizotes. Oh, crap, dude. That's really bad. That's really, really bad because we're at 8. We took so much damage from that slasher swing. But 2 pieces of spot removal out of the opponent's hand. I mean, that's still pretty good, man. We can double down on Aclizotes. It comes out as a land, and then they can transform it. Activate only if a player has 1 or fewer, which I think they could pull off next turn easily. If they have something cheap in hand and a land. 1 second, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. I'm going to take a second, use this timer, make sure I do this appropriately, because I think Aclizotes is a big enough threat. To grab the prize could potentially help us find another Scorching Shot, but we only have 1 of them. And the life gain on that is terrible too. Guys, it really, this is... No, I think we're in danger. Even if we do double down on Aclizotes, they're going to easily flip it back or play a second one or play a Sheoldred. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. We should remove Aclizotes, but it's really bad. A 2-for-1 that just isn't great. Empty our hand, too, in case they go Liliana. Because we were about to have 1 or less anyways, but now they don't swing. Wait a minute. Virtue. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Oh, it's a bunch of mana. Oh, we're super dead. Okay, what would have been the best line of play there? I tried to take a little extra moment to think it through, but I don't think, because we had the 2-for-1 the Aclizotes, which means we would have had, yeah, it's any player, 1 or fewer cards. So we would have had 1 or fewer no matter what, if we doubled down on the Aclizotes. At that point, we still have 0 cards in hand, so they're going to still be able to flip the Aclizote. Doubling down on this, they power back up, but it's tapped. They take our Razorkin Needlehead, which is a pretty good one. Deep Cavern Bat. They get to see that we drew a mountain. There's a chance that we find Burn. They go Overlord of... okay, so here I was worried about them flipping Aclizotes again. But I guess I didn't need to worry too much. Screaming Nemesis. Burst Lightning. Wow. Okay. So, we hold off on the Nemesis, even though getting Nemesis down, Burst Lightning on the Nemesis prevent the life gain. The problem is we're at 7, so we need to figure out a way to survive. Nemesis as a chump blocker isn't that great because of all the removal that's packed into mono black. So we start with a 1 mana Burst Lightning and hope that the 2 on the Virtue of Courage helps us find even more necessary things. Right? I think so. Ooh, Burst Lightning, or Boltwave and Lightning Strike. That's good. Okay, let's see what we can pull off here, man. Take action. Fanatical Firebrand. We do find more mana here too, which is better to play than out of our hand in case we find something to discard, right? At that point, of course, it's going to be Lightning Strike first. See another 3. And then we still have enough for Screaming Nemesis. But I think technically, if we see another Boltwave and stuff, oh, that's not great. Now, we would have needed 2 Boltwaves and our Fanatical Firebrand. Which I guess we could still find on the Firebrand, right? Right? I think we take the risk right now. No, we won't have it. We won't have it. 3 Boltwaves are already out of the deck list. So we try for the block then. Yeah, we'd only have 1 mana open with the Lightning Strike. Okay, we'll see if they find removal here. Again, hopefully I'm playing this out well enough. So, okay. Yeah, 3 Boltwaves out of the deck list. They find another Razorkin. They get 1 through in the air. Screaming Nemesis, is it going to get removed? That was one of the things I was concerned about the most. Holy cow, guys, we might still have a chance. Holy cow, and they go for the swing too here. See what they send to the grave. Liliana. Oh, but we still get the block, which is crazy. Bring him down to 3. Come on, count on luck. First of all, this is just until this turn, so we say no. Liliana, discard the mountain, see what was left in their hand. It was Rankle's Prank. It's a mountain. It's a mountain. No. Oh, guys, it could have been all too easy to pull this one, huh? Oh, crap, man. That's a lot of land for 22. Well, how far am I, though? Hold on. We have 9 here, 2 exiled, so that's 11. 12 land in the top 31 cards, though. All right, hey, good game, opponent. Let's drop him one of these, huh? Yeah, we could have easily gotten there. The double mountains. At that point, getting them down to 3, that could have easily come down to me. Somewhere in that game, I could have missed that damage. Also, I don't know how much life they ended up gaining. Not too much, honestly. They didn't gain too much. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, that was good. Hey guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link, not discard, Discord link, as well as the Patreon link too, if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Also guys, for the YouTube side of things, if you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like, and if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing as well, because it really does help out the channel. So thank you. All right, opponent goes first, but we definitely keep this. Swift Spear. Oh, well, there goes my turn 1, huh? We should pop that while we can. And hopefully the Firebrands can take care of their Heartfire heroes. It's Gruul colors. There's protection packed into Gruul. Struggling with words today, guys. I apologize. So grab the prize. This might be a great game to show that we just can ditch land too and not worry too much about it. I'm going to get the Firebrands down. We can keep 1 open to try to pop their ghost. I call it a ghost because we don't know if it's there. I think I'll just go for the swing, actually. Gruul knows how to be super duper explosive, and even if it's there, even if Heartfire Hero's chillin', it doesn't even have to be protection. When Firebrand's here, right, all they gotta do is give it a boost with a Monstrous Rage, and then the 1 damage doesn't hit it anyways. So just establishing our creatures, getting some extra damage through with the swings, makes the most sense to me right now. It was there. We can still try the Firebrand. They didn't give it a boost on their turn, but I'm pretty sure it's going to miss. I might start with grab the prize then and ditch a mountain, and we can first successfully play a mountain. That way we still have the 1 open, I guess. Yeah, for 22 mana, this is definitely too much mana. Screaming Nemesis should come in handy. On the stack, if we want to lose the fire, I guess we could... Jeez, man. Okay, I guess we swing with 1, right? And we'll keep the mountain open and wait for the Boltwave. They're going to take the 1. I don't think we try the hero. I don't think we do. We'll do Boltwave. Sorcery speed anyways. There's realistically no reason to hold that back. Unless we had, like, Virtue of Courage on the board or something. And we wanted to utilize the extra 3 cards off the top. So as soon as they try to go for the boost... Crap. Okay. Well, we definitely try it, but we know what's coming then. Okay, Monstrous Rage. There, Burst Lightning did its job. No more boost for the Heartfire hero. We might still have a chance here, guys. Burst Lightning. Now that Heartfire hero has Trample, it's not like the Nemesis. Nemesis will only get 3 if it blocks. So I think we still have to go for the swing, but I also think we could easily die next turn to a double strike Heartfire hero, which happens all too often, huh? All right, let's get him down to 10. I don't know about this one. Keeping a chump blocker back isn't that great either, so... Okay. 3 cards left in hand. Manifold Mouse not on the board. I think that gives us a real chance. Alright. Now, what are the odds? I think we just hit face. We have the 5th mana for the 4. We're at 11. We could get him down to 2. But I think it's a little better. No, I should hold it, right? I should. That's a tough decision, though. Ooh, Screaming Nemesis. Hi. Hi there, buddy. We're so close, man. We're so close. We could keep double Nemesis back as blockers. That could be really good. Burst Lightning. It depends how we expect them to remove the Nemesis. We could just keep 1 Nemesis back as a blocker. Fanatical Firebrand could still potentially get damage through regardless. So I'm going to keep the Firebrand back as a potential blocker too. Questing Druid. Let's see what they see on the top here. The Burst Lightning, actually, which is pretty good, but not against the Nemesis. All right, down to 7. What do you guys think? Playing it safe here, keeping the Nemesis back, keeping the Firebrand back. Like, sure, chumping, trampling creatures isn't that great, but also we still have Burst Lightning open too. I think there's a lot of reasons to keep the 2 creatures here. They do go for the swing. I don't know what this could be in their hand. I think we double block. I guess it doesn't matter if we block with the Firebrand if I plan on sacrificing it, though, for 1 extra point of damage. No. If I plan on doing that anyways, maybe there's something else in their hand where we don't want to do that with the Firebrand. That's 6-4. Still got 1 card in hand, and the Burst Lightning. Okay. I guess I don't mind taking 1 less damage and keeping the Firebrand as the block then, right? So we were able to block a lot there. No more life gain for the opponent. We're down to 3. Last card in hand. Questing Druid. Oh, crap. Obliterating Bolt. Okay. Okay. Woo. Okay. Heartfire hero to chump the Nemesis. So we keep the Burst Lightning as a 5-mana card. They do go for the Burst Lightning, getting us down to 1. We're sweating, huh? But we know what's remaining here. We'll kick this to the opponent's face, and we get there. Oh, buddy, a little bit of patience with the Burst Lightning, I think, paid off there. I also think that keeping the Firebrand back, well, it confused me for the turn as, like, I'm always in that aggro mind state of we got to just keep pushing damage to the opponent's face no matter what. Sometimes you're just not the aggressor, and I think I liked keeping the Firebrand and the Nemesis back, even though it confused me for the turn. I think that was an optimized line of play. At long last, guys, I did it. I optimized something. Of course, I'm just teasing, but yeah, that I feel like that was decent, right? I don't know. Because the opponent could have found so much, and they probably got Lightning Strike in their deck list too, so wow. Yeah. Okay. We go first, that's great news. We could just go turn 1 Boltwave, but I think it's Fanatical Firebrand as establishing a creature that can actually stick around, or a creature that could take removal off of our future creatures, right? A little bit better, especially when maybe late game Boltwave does a little bit more for us too. I still need to see the Razorkin Needlehead do a little bit more today. You know, I opted for all 4 of them in here, so I'm really hoping that it does a little bit and start maybe punishing the opponents for drawing so much, you know? Alright guys, let's go ahead and pause the recording until the opponent shows up. Okay, the opponent ran down the timer, so I don't think they are here, unfortunately. I'm going to continue to pause, and we'll see if they arrive on time. Alright, we're at the end of the timer, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it looks like this is just going to be an example hand, which we don't get many hands out of the evening, and I think this hand was actually pretty great. Too bad the opponent didn't show up, because again, I really want to see the Razorkin Needlehead do a bit more today. Guys, we're about 31 minutes in. We're going to try one more game. I think the games are relatively fast with this one. I do also like how it doesn't have to be fast either, because the count on luck kind of takes us into that mid-game successfully, I'd say, but we'll see. It also depends how much Get Lost you're seeing too, but Get Lost is probably going to eat up the Scorching... Wait, Scorching? What's happening? The Screaming Nemesis. Also nicknamed the Scorching Nemesis for this deck list, right? But yeah, anyways, the Get Lost will eat up the other value creatures too, and the Needlehead as well. Opponent goes first. Unfortunately, I'd say this hand is much worse than the last one too, but we're definitely going to keep this hand for the last hand of the evening. The Grab the Prize can help us trade some stuff out too. We can always trade Grab the Prize with the Grab the Prize, so... Storm Chaser's Talent. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. I'm scared. Yeah, okay, I'll remove the Otter. I mean, we know what we're up against at this point. all it takes was Dimir Land and Storm Chaser's Talent. We know we're up against Bounce. And it is going to be Esper Pixie, too, as they play Restless Anchorage. So I think taking care of the Otters early on makes a lot of sense here. And Fanatical Firebrand also helps us do that. I think it's just going to be the Virtue of Courage, though, for the turn. We could have Boltwave and Firebrand, but yeah, I think just popping the Otters as we see them. And Virtue's fine as 2 mana, 2 damage. At some point, too, getting Virtue down, I don't know, really depends. Alright, Grab the Prize. Send the Grab the Prize, find the third, play our Firebrand. Could be good if they're not rocking a counterspell, which Esper Pixie... Does Esper Pixie run counterspells? I don't think so. The Needlehead could be decent here too, but I want to find that third mana. Sending the Grab the Prize could be a little sketchy, but I don't want to send anything else, so... Mainly because I want to see the Razorkin do the thing. I don't want to send my 1 mana cards, maybe Boltwave, but... Let's find that third mana. We don't find it. That's not good, guys. That's not good at all. So far today, too, for 22 mana, the mana's been all over the place. A lot of it, a little bit of it. They power up Restless Anchorage. Why not, right? Get us down to 18, get a map token on the board. There's our third. All right. Do we take the time for some setup? Probably not, because they probably just bounce it with a This Town Ain't Big Enough and then get a Storm Chaser's Talent back down on the board for more Otters. But if we don't take the time for setup, what on earth do we do for the turn? I suppose at that point, first of all, Slagstorm was a pretty good draw against this deck list. Needlehead and Firebrand. At least we're getting 2 things onto the board, making their This Town Ain't Big Enough much worse, right? Nowhere to run. Hits the Needlehead. Yeah, it's too bad we're not seeing it do too much, and most of the time it's been removed before the opponents have drawn, which is kind of crazy to think about. I think then in the final thoughts, we can talk about maybe even trading out that creature altogether. Alright guys, if we don't set up with Count on Luck, then we might not be able to get much more mana on the board, and we might be going way too slow at that point. Let's see what happens to our Fanatical Firebrand on a swing, because they still have 2 mana open. Alright. This will be a really good tempo play for the opponent to bounce the Count on Luck, especially when we're low on mana. So let's see it. They still got 2 in hand. Wow. That's great news for us, guys. Yeah, two open mana and they didn't do it on our turn. Probably means they don't have the This Town Ain't Big Enough. Nurturing Pixie. I think they're going to go talent over the Nowhere to Run because Firebrand's not a big enough threat. Get some creatures established. With 1 card in hand, they are going to go Map Token. I don't know why I wanted to say Fabled Passage there. I've been struggling with the words all evening, man. Virtue. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we have to utilize the extra cards on the Count on Luck for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the Pixie. And still have Burst Lightning open for the Otter. They do have 1 card open. Okay. So Boltwave isn't bad, but Burst Lightning just popping the Otter is pretty good too. And we want to keep their board clear. And then eventually... Here they go, Nowhere to Run to boost. So as soon as they target the Firebrand, we'll go ahead and pop the Firebrand to target the Otter. So actually just works out really nicely for us, doesn't it? As now their Nowhere to Run is on the board, but we still... Like, their Nowhere to Run instead of used on one of our Screaming Nemesis or something, right? Destroy Evil. Yeah, hopefully we're fine. The Restless Lands are super scary. Destroy Evil on the Count on Luck, of course, right? Now, hopefully we find some more mana here because we are in desperate need. We're 16 cards into the deck list. We really do want to see more mountains. There we go. Okay. Yeah, the Restless Lands are terrifying. At that point, they're ready to power up the Reef. Other words, if Reef wasn't on the board, I'd say we'd keep the Lightning Strike open. But at this point, does it really matter? They're going to power up Reef, get around the Lightning Strike. So we can, at the very least, set up again with Count on Luck and just go for the Boltwave, I guess. Use the mana while we have it, get them down to 11. Because there's no guarantee that we find the 5th for the Courage anyways, and if we do, we still have other cards to use. They find more mana, so it was going to be the Restless Reef for the turn. Oh. Oh. Good play, opponent. I completely overlooked that. That's really good, man. Crap. So we're back to 0. Back to 0 on the board, man. They're keeping our just board state completely clean. That's scary business, dude. Okay. And you don't want to say that this is unheard of. I think Count on Luck, has a lot of enemies in Standard. A lot of people are playing ways to remove enchantments because there's just a lot of really great things to remove. So we could keep Firebrand as a blocker. Probably not. Let's keep the Lightning Strike open. Yeah, we got to get the swing. Got to get extra damage with the Firebrand. This is a case of us definitely being the aggressive ones, but we still have to be very careful. The other Storm Chaser's talent still has its ability as well. I do wonder what they want to grab here. If we would have found more mana, there's a case to be had here, guys, for the 23rd mana. If we would have found more, maybe Virtue already would have been established. They do find a Nurturing Pixie off the top. Kind of terrible news for us, man. Taking 5 on the swing. I do wonder, they're gonna mill us. Mana. Oh crap, Screaming Nemesis, Count on Luck, more mana. Oh crap. Well, we know one thing. We know the mana would have really come in handy. Do we go for the Lightning Strike now? Probably. I think we're in danger. I think technically... Crap. Okay, we do find mana anyway, so we do have the Virtue, but now we don't have the Lightning Strike next turn to see more off the top. Instead, we have the Slagstorm, which hits us as well. So we can keep the Firebrand. These are tough decisions, man. These are tough decisions. We're going to keep the Firebrand as an emergency blocker, and we can still pop it on their turn as well. This is anyone's game, dude. Anyone's game. For real. I'm on the edge of my seat. Okay, Pixie can bounce Nowhere to Run, actually, before combat. And then they'd still have the 2 open. No, they're going to start with the Restless Reef, which, of course, we want to chump and then sacrifice and then poke the opponent's face that way. At that point, see what we mill here. Lightning Strike, okay, I guess more mana, that's not bad to get rid of, but the Lightning Strike breaks my heart a little bit, right? Okay, since we're tapped out, we don't want to do the Virtue of Courage ability. Other words, I think I might if I would have even had 1 mountain open. Yeah, because it's only this turn. Was the chump even worth it? We could have just swung with Firebrand last turn, swung with Firebrand this turn, or next turn, but they found Pixie, so they would have had blockers. Looks like they're going to have even more blockers on a Storm Chaser's Talent, too. Or they could bounce a Nowhere to Run. That way, if we see, like, a Screaming Nemesis. They don't know we have Slagstorm. We find a mountain. Oh, crap, guys. The decisions, man. The decisions, man. Oh, crap. Okay, we can go Slagstorm and pop their 2 creatures and then maybe survive a couple extra turns. Or we could just go for it. We could just go for it. We go for it. Yeah. Yeah, we just go for it, man. 3 cards off the top. We're going to get there. We got this. Boltwave. Let's go. Taking down Esper Pixie. Feels so good. Oh, buddy. All right. I think I was overthinking it a little bit, but feels good. Feels good. All right. 42 minutes in. We're ending on that high note for sure. My first ever victory against Esper Pixie. Nah, I'm just teasing. But dude, seriously? The deck list is very hard to win against, huh? All right, Scorching. Red deck wins. Here's the deck list again. Whoop, buddy. Look at all that red in these casting costs. Double red on Needlehead, double red on Scorching Shot, triple red on Count on Luck. This was cool, man. Hopefully we did the thing today. A little bit of a different version of Mono Red Burn, I guess, kind of, sort of, right? So, grab the prize I like as a 4 of. But if there's some form of utility that you think you really desperately need in the meta that you're seeing, I could see dropping to 3 or 2 of these as well. But finding more things off the top or trading out excess mana or anything like that is going to be pretty darn important, I would say. So I really like all 4 grab the prize. I also really like that it's just a common. And then a lot of the deck list is actually relatively budget as well, where we're looking at just commons for Lightning Strike, commons for Burst Lightning, uncommon for Boltwave, commons for Firebrand, uncommon for Scorching Shot, right? That's all really cool. Now, here's the rares, right? We got 4 Razorkin Needleheads. How necessary was this today? The concept, the idea here of the Needlehead was kind of based on what I was seeing a lot of, and that was the opponents just restocking their hand a ridiculous amount. Another concept of the Needlehead is, yeah, just really pushing all that mono red goodness. Like, can you play Needlehead in Rakdos or Boros? I guess so, but it's kind of greedy with the double red, right? And there's a reason why we don't see some of those double green 3/3s make an appearance in like Selesnya and stuff. That's really greedy, you know? So just, it's been a while for Razorkin. I wish I could have seen more today from the Razorkin, but it just kind of died before the opponents drew any cards anyways. And then there were other moments too where the opponents were able to restock their hand when we didn't see the Razorkin. So it's a little bit awkward in that sense. So being a rare for this deck list, it's unnecessary. You don't have to craft this up to be successful. When we were successful today, it really wasn't because of the Razorkin anyways. So some awesome cards you could consider going up instead is actually right here, Coruscation Mage. It's uncommon. I think this would be excellent in here as a 4-of if you don't have the Razorkin. I'd say the deck list performed well enough for me today to not make any changes, but that's very, very important, man. I can't tell you to put this on the do not craft list because I had a lot of fun with it. I think it'll hold up nicely overall. I can't say it's super competitive either. More testing required for sure. I would say definitely craft a little less based on your collection though, especially for some of these cards that we didn't get to see a lot of today. So Razorkin Needlehead is that card that it's just like, it's rare. You don't need all 4 of them by any means. You could actually probably completely trade this out and still have quite a bit of success. However, more testing required for sure. Maybe Razorkin Needlehead would have, maybe if I play another 5 games, this would be an MVP, right? I don't realistically know. Either way, you're still going to want something that's poking the opponent's face. If you're trading a creature in, make sure it's hitting the opponent's face somewhere, okay? What else? Double Slagstorm, I like it, yes. Depending on what you're seeing, again, I could see 3 of these for sure. If you're seeing a lot of go wide builds and stuff, I could see 3 Slagstorms. On that note, you're still going to want to pay attention to your collection because maybe you don't want to craft all 4 count unlocks, but you still got a couple of these laying around. Well, you put a couple of them in, and then you go up something like that Slagstorm. And again, depending on what you're up against, maybe you want to go up a 3rd Scorching Shot or something. Maybe that 5 damage is really going a long way for you. Now, Scorching Shot can't hit Planeswalkers, which is pretty important. One thing I didn't go over at the beginning, which is, I guess, kind of sort of obvious, there are going to be moments where you have the Screaming Nemesis and you actually Scorching Shot your own Nemesis to hit the opponent's face for 5 damage, which is obviously going to be pretty good. And they're probably wrapping up the game that turn if you're risking losing your Screaming Nemesis, or hopefully next turn then too, since you're taking the opponent's life gain away at that point too. Just remember, on the stack, the opponent could still drop instant speed removal, which would be devastating. I really liked all 4 count unluck, man. So I brought it up a few times in the video, so at the risk of sounding like a broken record, count unluck is in here to bridge that gap between aggro and mid-range. Now, the deck list is not mid-range by any means. However, the games are going on longer and longer anyways. The opponents are playing so much early removal anyways. They're like braced for impact against hyper-aggressive deck lists. And that includes your deck lists too, right? So they control that early game, and now you're establishing something in the late game, and now they're still sweating like it's the early game, right? That's kind of the concept of count unluck in here. I think it really worked out nicely today. More testing required again. It is one of the rares in here too, so Screaming Nemesis, all 4 of them. Do I want to call it necessary? I do want to call it necessary. It's mythic, but boy, it just does the thing every time we see it, man. And you're just not going to be mad to have it around. But being mythic, you know, again, you're still going to want to base it on your collection. If you only got 2 of them, that's still good. Run the 2, go up a couple uncommons and be happy. You could even go up a couple shocks and probably be relatively satisfied. Then we have another mythic here on the top end, Virtue of Courage. This is pretty good too. I like the 2 of these for sure. It's not a whole lot else to say except for the mountains felt a little bit weird today. At 22 land, it's just going to happen sometimes. It's just Magic the Gathering. It's going to be like, man, I really need to see one off the top. And then there's going to be other games where if you see a mountain off the top, you're going to lose because you flooded out or something, right? And we saw both ends of that today. I think 22 mountains makes a lot of sense. I wouldn't go up any, wouldn't go down any. What do you guys think? 22 mountains? Yeah, probably. If you go down to 21, you're not going to hit your 3rd on time for Nemesis or count unluck sometimes. If you go up to 23, you're going to flood out just as much as I did today with like that one game with the count unluck seeing a mountain, and we drew a mountain too, even though that could have been all too easy to get that victory, right? So I think 22 makes a lot of sense then. All right, guys, not a whole lot else to say. The games really showcased the deck list beautifully. Firebrand really showcased itself beautifully today too. I just like everything about this was freaking awesome. I had a freaking blast with this one, dude. Holy cow. Yeah, this was fun. All right, enough rambling, huh? If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.